channel. I am Thomas, and today I am going to be reviewing a Starbucks Private Reserve coffee from Guatemala. Thanks to my subscriber that sent me this. I've had a lot of people asking for a review on Starbucks Reserve coffee, but it's kind of difficult. You can't order it online. You have to go to very select certain stores that sell it. Anyway, I wasn't able to get it in my area. They sent it to me. Thank you so much. Anyway, this is a Huehuetenango from Guatemala. It is from a hybrid coffee, Marcella type of coffee plant. It's like a new hybrid that's very disease, particularly rust resistant. I don't know if you know rust. Rust is a coffee that disease kills a lot of coffee plants, wreaks havoc on the coffee business. Anyway, this is a disease rust resistant coffee. I have no idea what it's going to taste like. Anyway, it's whole bean. It does not have a roast on date. It does have a use on date, which is about a year away. Yuck. Anyway, hopefully it's a lot fresher than that. Comes with a nice tag, comes in a nice clip. It's a little over 8-ounce bag, $18, so it says on the label. So about $35, $34 a pound. So it's a pretty expensive coffee. So hopefully it'll be a really good coffee. So anyway, I am going to analyze it. My roast right, I'm going to do a pH reading. We're going to cup it. We're going to pour shots. I'm going to cold brew it. Then I'm going to score it on my SEA scorecard and let you know how good it is and whether I recommend it for you to drink. So anyway, I will be right back. Okay, let's get our sample going. See what we got here, see if we got any bloom. This coffee seems like it's got a really sort of alright, nice bloom to it, so that's a good thing. It's looking pretty fresh. Anyway, we got 10 grams, about 250 grams of water. We're going to let that sit for about 15 minutes, 14 minutes before we sample it. Let me give you the results from my roast right. On the outer side of bean, I got a 44. I got a 55 on the grind on the roast right, which makes this a medium dark roast coffee. Two numbers being fairly close together means it was a relatively slow roasted coffee. Let's get a pH on it. I had somebody the other day ask me if it was better to do a pH reading now or wait later until it cups. I'm gonna try doing a pH 2 times just to see if there's really any difference. So let's start the pH right now and see what we got. I got about a 665, so this is not a low pH coffee. It's got a nice acid to it. It's a darker roast. But anyway, we're going to let this sit for 15 minutes. I'm going to do one more pH just to make sure the readings match to see if it makes any difference or not. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, my coffee sample has been resting about 14 minutes. It is ready to sample. I just want to say one thing really quick. For that person that asked me if whether it made any difference whether you did a pH reading at the beginning or the end. Actually, today I sampled it at the beginning when I first poured it. I also just did a sample a second ago at the end, and it was exactly the same reading. So no, it does not matter whether you do a pH reading at the beginning or the end. You know, once you give it a second, the acids will come out of the coffee. So anyway, let's give this sample a taste. On the smell, it had a really nice chocolate cherry smell to it. I really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, very nice acidity. This is definitely not a low acid coffee. It has a very bright, sweet, very pronounced acidity. Very nice, bright kick to it. Nice flavor, nice dark, kind of, you can taste that smokiness a little bit Going to the dark roast has a nice sort of smoky, dark taste to it. Tints of cherry. This is a washed coffee. It is not a natural, it is a fully washed coffee. Nice bright acidity. Chocolate cherry flavors to it. Definitely get taste of smokiness to it. I don't know if anybody knows about roasting. I would kind of say they probably had the air turned down, so the smoke stayed in the roaster, gave it more of a smoky taste. Very enjoyable. Nice full mouth, nothing bad about it, very good tasting coffee. Like I said, very bright acidity, nice sweetness. It has a long lasting aftertaste. It just stays in your mouth forever. A lot of body, big balance, nothing odd about it, no defects, no bitterness. This is extremely good coffee. And a nice bloom. I will score it, but let's pull a shot, see how it is on the shot. That makes a nice crema. Has the same really nice sort of cherry tones coming off the shot. Smells really nice. They're again kind of smoky, very kind of intense. Definitely the acidity is more pronounced on the shot. Has a really sort of tangy acidity to it. A little bit too much acidity for me in the shot. Might be good, you know, if you mellowed it out in a latte or cappuccino, or maybe blended it with some Brew and some Ethiopian. Not a bad shot, just the acidity in it is really sort of more pronounced in the shot. Anyway, very good coffee. I'm going to score it. I have some cold brew in the refrigerator. Be ready in about 10 hours. I'll be back in about 10 hours giving my full score on this coffee, and we will sample that cold brew, and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It's been about 10 hours. Cold brew ready. I decided to pull a shot and make a cappuccino, try it that way. I'm going to sample both of these, give you my score on this coffee, and let you know whether I recommend it or not. And we have a little cold brew. Nice amber color.
What happened next, Biden calls a miracle.
Nice bright acidity.
He met Melissa Cook,
very traditional coffee tasting.
They had an instant connection.
I think it's a bit more softer, a bit less acidic than the shot or the when it was brewed hot. Cold brew definitely mellows it out a bit.
Just 7 days later,
very nice cold brew. I would recommend it. Try the cappuccino.
Hunter Biden began to repair the damage. One of the deepest wounds to his family. The affair he had with his brother's widow, Hallie, just after Beau's...
Actually makes an extremely good cappuccino. Still has kind of a little bit of a smoky taste to it. The bright acidity definitely comes through, you know, what you want. An espresso shot, very good. Like I said, as a single origin espresso, very good. You know, like I said, as a coffee roaster, I might use this coffee and blend it with some Brazilian, some Ethiopian. So I'm going to mellow it out, give it a little more depth, more interesting, but it is extremely good by itself.
Hunter Biden has tried.
Anyway, let me give you my score on this coffee. You know, I got the roast right. I did, which was a 44 on the whole bean, 58 on the grind. Kind of makes it a full city roast. It is a worst coffee. I would say this was a very good traditional coffee for those people. Like, anyway, let me give you my score on fragrance. On the break, on the aroma, I gave it an 8.5. Aroma of chocolate, sort of nutty, with cherry undertones, very good. Flavor, lots of flavor, gave it a 9. Aftertaste, definitely long, lingering. I mean, I could still taste this coffee 10, 15 minutes after I drink. Very long, lingering taste in your mouth. I gave it a 9.25. Acidity. This is a very bright, acidic coffee. 9.25. Sweetness. I gave it an 8.5. It didn't have a lot of sweetness, but it did have a nice sort of cherry-like sweetness to it. For a worst coffee, it's obviously not as sweet as you would get from a naturally processed coffee, but for a worst coffee, it had a lot of nice sweetness. Maybe that it was a darker roast coffee. Bitterness, no bitterness whatsoever. Mouthful, there again, big, full mouthful, gave it a 9. Balance, it was a relatively well-balanced coffee, I gave it a 9. I found nothing wrong with it, so I gave it a 10 under defects. And overall drinkability, I gave it a 9. My total score on this coffee was 91.5. I would say this was quite an excellent coffee. It's probably the best, probably the best Starbucks coffee I've ever drank. I'd be interested in trying some of the other, maybe Starbucks Reserves. I don't know if they change, seasonally. I was reading up, and I think they just do micro lots, so it could change all the time. But anyway, this was a excellent coffee. I would highly recommend it to anyone that's a devoted Starbucks drinker that wants to drink the best Starbucks has. They don't mind paying the what I would call a fairly high price for $18 for a half pound, for a half pound bag. But you get what you pay for. So it was extremely good coffee. On my coffee index, I'd probably give it about a 3.5. 3.5, putting it in the middle of the road because it's an excellent coffee, but it also comes with a pretty hefty price tag. So anyway, that is my review for this week. If you've gotten value out of it, enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching the channel. Bye.